So guys, let's summarize the last session, which was introduction to security. Introduction of security, we have seen what exactly the security is. So we have gone through the what do we say, definition of security. It is the practice. You can use a word called practice. It is a practice of protecting your assets, and that assets can be valuable assets we are going to protect, right? So security is the practice of protecting the valuable assets from malicious attack, DDoS attack, from any kind of risk. If it is coming, you will be protecting. So that was the security. Security is the practice to protect the valuable assets. After that, we have seen under the second part, we have seen what exactly the risk is. Risk means, risk is a kind of agent which will create the problem, for our company, our organization, our individuals. That can be a risk. And in the risk, we have seen four phase of the risk. So if risk will come, first of all, you will do the risk analysis. What type of risk it is coming? So there are four phase of risk we have seen: risk analysis, and after that risk control, and then risk acceptance, and then risk mitigation. There were four we have seen basically into the risk. And third, we have seen the CIA triad also. That was the goal of security. If I tell you what you have to achieve in security, what you are going to achieve in the security. So in security, you have to ensure the CIA part. C for confidentiality, I for integrity, and CIA. A for anybody? A is for what, guys?
Availability.
Availability. Very good. So this CIA triad will form. So confidentiality is saying, if you are sending, if there are person A and B, they are sharing some data, A is sharing some data to B, so this data should be confidential. Only A can access or only B can access. Nobody in the middle like C can access or anyone else he is there in the group, so they should not able to access. The data should be confidential, it should be protected proper. And integrity ensure that the data which you are sharing, it should not be altered or modified in the middle while transferring the data. And availability shows whether if a person A is authorized, if a person B is authorized, so whenever they need to access, because they are authorized, if they need to access that time, the data should be available for them to access. So in the security, this is the goal. So whenever you are setting up something, this goal should be achieved. Your responsibility is to ensure confidentiality, integrity, and availability. That was the goal of security. Now under the security implementation means how we are going to implement the security. So there are four phase you will be seeing of implementation. Four phase you will be seeing of the implementation. The first phase comes as a prevention. First phase will be prevention. Prevention means the threat. Threat means risk. Before the threat comes, you will be taking some proactive action or proactive decision, and you will try to protect your resource before the threat come. Before somebody should hack, you should protect your resource before the threat come. That is prevention. And then the second phase will be detection. If threat is coming, or once the prevention will get fail, if prevention will get fail, then the threat will enter into the resource or in your assets, then you will detect it. So that phase you will be learning detection. And the third phase will be mitigation. or you can say control, how you are going to remove that problem, that threat, how you are going to work on that threat, that you can call response also, that you can call response. Now how you will be responding after detecting the threat? If you got the virus, how to respond? If you got the worm, if you got the DDoS attack, if you got the Trojan worm, Trojan horse, so multiple types of attacks or multiple types of threat will be coming. So how you are going to respond? In the last phase is analysis, and this will work as a cycle, and this we used to call security life cycle. This implementation is known as security life cycle. This is what we have completed into the introduction till now. I hope you got the clarity, guys. What and we are going to start this prevention today. So it means that we are going to protect our resource before the threat come. So we are going to start the prevention. Is it clear to everybody? So we, in short, we used to call AUP, acceptable use policy. So if you join any company, let's say you are joining Tech Mahindra company, right? Tech Mahindra company you are joining as any job role, whatever you are getting. So the Tech Mahindra will have some policy. The company means Tech Mahindra will have policy. For example, the first policy is you cannot bring your device. You cannot bring your device. Your device or devices. You cannot bring your devices. Or there will be the policy related to uh, what all are the resources that you can use as per your role, what all are the resources is allowed for you, and what all are the resources is denied for you, right? So everything will be there into that acceptable use policy. Means, what is the acceptable use policy? It is a guideline, it is a document which will ensure whether the employee who is working into the company, who is working in under the employer, they should follow the rules and regulation. They should follow the rules and regulation of that particular company. Means they are accepting that rules, they are accepting the rules, and they are working in the company. That is only the acceptable use policy. Now we'll be moving further into the next of it, which is the first life cycle of it, which is prevention. I hope prevention you all are able to see the second document, prevention. It is
Yes, sir.
visible to everybody. So now you
Yes,
all can
sir.
open the prevention file. You all can open the prevention file. I'll also open. This will be having much more stuff. So again, the first phase of life cycle, we are learning the security life cycle. In the security life cycle, we are talking about the first phase, which is prevention. Prevention means you will you will protect you will protect resources, or at the place of resources you can say assets of the company. You will protect your resources or assets before the threat come, before the threat come before the threat come. So if you will be having this prevention, it means that first of all, the hacker or attacker, they need to break the prevention. If you will be having this is known as also as a first line of defense. First line of defense, right? So what we are going to learn in the prevention from top to bottom. Let's see now what we are going to learn into the prevention from top to bottom, means agenda. So we will understand the importance of prevention in the security life cycle. Along with that, what all are the prevention related tasks that we can perform to prevent, and what is the layered model to prevent the resources or assets that come under the prevention strategy. And the last one is prevention measures. Measures means what, guys? Measures means counter measures. Measures means counter measures. Let's say if virus is there, um, you received a request to record to the cloud. Who is making a request to
Sir,
record?
me, Shrestha, Harsh cannot record the class right now.
Is it? Uh,
Harsh
if
is outside, sir, so he's asking another one to do the record. So if possible, you can do it now.
I'm recording, but
Okay.
I think if we will record from here, one recording will go to the base account of Zoom, I guess.
Okay, okay, sir.
And the recording is not allowed as per the course, but if it is not allowed, let it be, because if anybody will come to know, they will start asking me like why you are recording and all. Uh,
Okay, sir.
shall I accept it or deny? I'm recording. I'll
Uh,
share with the Harsha. No need to worry. I'll share with the
okay,
Harsha.
sir.
Yes, sure, sir, sure.
Okay. We were talking about the countermeasures here. Countermeasure means what? Let's say we do have virus. So how we can counter the virus? We will be using antivirus. So antivirus is the countermeasure for virus. So if you are having, some prediction like you may be getting virus, so you will be using antivirus. Like the same, on each layer we'll be discussing about what kind of countermeasures can be developed or implemented, or we can implement so that we can prevent our resources. So these all are the agenda of the session. Now we will be moving up one by one. Introduction to prevention. The meaning here, introduction to prevention means prevention is the first phase of the security life cycle. Security life cycle, this is the first phase, and it is telling prevention stops threat before they happen. Means prevention means before the threat come, you will just try to implement the things. During this phase, you do have the opportunity to take proactive actions to defend against threats, and you can defend against threat. This is the prevention. Or if I'll tell you, prevention is the strategy that can help us to protect our resource before the threat come. That is enough. Now we'll try to understand what basically we are doing into the prevention, what task we are doing into the prevention, what kind of task we are performing into the prevention. So the first one is identifying assets to be protected. What is the meaning of it? The meaning is so simple. Identifying the assets means, let's say you do have a complete asset of your company, right? Now the asset will be considered from land plus building plus gate plus the table plus chair plus employees plus computer plus router switches, all the IT resources plus your data plus so many things will come. How much things you can get in a company? How many things you can get in a company? These entire things will come under the asset of the company. Either it can be people or any part of the organization. You can take from chair, table to computer system to router to cable ho, or chair or table. All are the assets of the company. So now you need to understand what you are going to protect, whether you are going to protect the table chair or you are going to protect your data. You need to take the decision. It means that first of all you will identify your assets, which asset can be protected. So you can say you can protect your data, you can protect your network, you can protect your servers. So let's say there are four server. If I tell you, for example, there are four server. These all are the four server. One is here, one is here, one is here, one is here. Now this server is having very much sensitive data. So first your priority will be first of all to protect this server. Remaining you will be protecting later. So the sensitiveness of data speak to get the topest priority. If data is very much sensitive, it does achieve the topest priority to get protected. So you will identify what assets to be protected, what assets should not be protected, right? So first of all, you will just try to identify, just try to filter. Let's say if you do have 4 network, out of the 4 network, 3 network only having the important data. One network is just we are using for connecting and doing something, so we are not going to protect it, right? And all the systems are connected with the internet, so we will be protected from the internet by using some firewall. So kind of it, you will be doing some analysis, what to protect, what to not protect, right? And then the second task you will start. Once after, let's say, let's suppose you do have 100, you do have 100 resource, 100 resource you do have, and these 100 you have selected from 1000, let's say 1000 uh, total resource, total resource a company or organization is having, total 1000. Out of 1000, 100 we have selected as a 100 we have selected as a what do we say, we have 100 resources we have identified for protecting. Now the second work you will do here, out of 100 you will identify, or you will check it out whether out of this 100 how many are weak, how many are vulnerable, how many are weak, or how many are vulnerable. Let's say you came to know 10 are vulnerable or 5 are vulnerable. So once after finding out 5 or 10 are vulnerable, you will apply your countermeasure first of all on these. So this process is simple. This process is as simple as I have told you. I'll just try to repeat it again so that easily you can understand. The first task is to identifying the assets. You can create and maintain an asset inventory to
Sir,
identify
voice is
the.
breaking.
Is it? Is it, guys? It is breaking.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Just allow me a minute, please. In pen tab. All right. So if you are ready to hear, you can just confirm. I'll just start again.
Yes, sir. Now it's fine.
Fine then. So the first task is identifying the assets, guys. So you can create and maintain asset inventory to identify the assets in your system. So basically, uh, in AWS, there is a service called System Manager. System Manager. By the name you can see System Manager. So what it will do, it will manage those systems. So let's suppose in a network there are 100 PCs or 20 PCs, let's say for example 20 PC or system or server I am keeping into the a network. Now this system manager will manage all these servers for you. You can create the assets inventory of this entire system. When I'm saying asset inventory, guys, so you do not get confused. Means I'll tell you with one small example so that you can easily understand. Let's say you have created 2-3 virtual machine. Let's say you have created one virtual machine, 2, 3, 4. Like the same, you can create how many you want, right? Let's say n. So this is first, second, third, fourth, fifth. Now how many GB RAM you are using here? In first 1 GB, 2 GB, 4 GB, 6 GB, 10 GB, like that. This is the RAM. And then you are using CPU. Let's say 2 CPU, 1 CPU, 4 CPU, 5 CPU, 10 CPU, like that you can give. Memory you can add, storage, let's say you can add 20 GB, 40 GB, 80 GB, 100, 1 TB, like that you can add the memory. You will be having data also. Data means, let's say you will be having data here, let's say 5 GB data, 10 GB data, 2 GB data, 8 GB data, 5 GB data again. You will be having network interface 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So what I'm writing basically, I'm writing, let's say this is the one virtual machine. I'm just getting the entire configuration, you can say, or entire resource of this virtual machine. Either it can be RAM, CPU, storage, data, network, services and application will also come. Services, let's say if you are running Apache server, or if other server you are running, and application, let's say you do have few application. So every detail will be coming into the system manager. Once you will do the inventory, this entire info will be coming into the inventory of the system manager. Everything will come. Let's say if you create the machine, for example, some of you can easily remember. Let's say if you create a machine, so without connecting the machine, can we come to know what all are the applications are there in the machine? Let's say you have created a Windows machine. Can we come to know how many application and services are running in the machine? Guys, what do you say? Without connecting the machine, can we come to know how many applications are, how many services, or what type of data we do have in the virtual machine? Can we
No.
come to know? Say yes or no.
No, sir.
No,
No, sir.
right? So for the same, basically, the system manager has been introduced for doing the same. Without connecting any machine, you can get the entire details of that machine. What all are the services are running inside the machine? What all are the applications are running in the machine? What type of data it is? How many network interfaces are there? Everything you will come to know into the inventory of a system manager. Got it? So you can create and maintain, first of all, asset inventory. What data should be protected, or what part of your assets you are going to protect. That can be either network device, or it can be server, application, or services. Anything can be possible. And then you can see here it is saying the list can be extracted from existing documentation. So you will be having you know few documents that will be I'll be sharing some documents to you. By that you can easily understand, and no need to go through the documentation here also. By once you will use the layer model, you will be having clarity on each documentation and diagram, right? So the first thing which we are going to do under the analysis is we are going to check how many assets, how much assets we can identify, and how many assets we can leave it. For example, for example, let's say lab number 276. Are you able to see, guys? Lab number 276.
Yes, sir.
So I'll start with the same lab so that I can show you how we are able to find out the inventory, right? So that one by one clarity you will be having of everything. And we are using specifically, we are using this for operation, you can say. We are using it for operation. So we can start the lab number 276 now, and we can do it multiple time. For the first time, this lab is made for doing something else, but I'll try to show you the system manager, how basically we are doing the inventory. Because there are three things that we are going to do, guys. There are three things we are going to do. First of all, we will analysis the assets. That is what the that is what we are going to do now. In second, after doing this, we will try to find out the weaknesses, and we used to call it vulnerability. Vulnerability, or you can call it weakness also. Weaknesses, whatever will be in your resource, that you will identify. And third, you will apply the security measures on it. You will apply the security measures on it. This is what we are going to do into the prevention, right? So let's see the lab now. My paint screen is visible to everybody.
Visible.
Perfect. So
Yes,
lab
sir.
is getting started. It will take few more minutes, it seems. It's taking too much time to start. See, I have told you there is a concept of, these three things will do once the lab will start. There is a concept of managed and unmanaged. If it is managed, it means that managed by AWS. If it is unmanaged, it is again unmanaged by the AWS. Are you getting my point? If it is unmanaged, sorry, if it is managed, so AWS is managing. If it is unmanaged, means AWS is not managing. It means maybe user will manage or customer will manage, right? So you will be able to apply the system manager will able to do the inventory on managed instances, right? On managed instances. So let's try to log in. It is taking that much time. Let's see what is happening. So we are into the console. I hope the screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
So now what we are going to do is we will verify whether any machine is there or not under the EC2. So let's search EC2 first.
So,
So
what is the lab number again?
276, lab number 276.
Okay, sir.
276. Everybody can launch the same 276 here. Shall we start?
One minute, sir.
These things will be coming once again, so no need to worry.
Okay, sir.
So see, here we do have two instances. The first one is Bastion server and second one is app server. A Bastion server means, the server which we have designed one day in the networking, which we were able to access a machine which was into the private subnet. We have accessed that machine through the public subnet. So that public subnet, you can call it as the public machine, you can call it as a Bastion server. So there is no relation of that to this lab, but the Bastion name basically, if you do have some machine in the private subnet or private network and you want to access through the internet, then you will be connecting through the Bastion server. That you will be learning in future again. So these all are the two machines we do have. Now we need to identify the details about these machines. Either the detail can be the info of the virtual machine, or the detail can be the application, services, data, anything, right? So this is the machines. We are going to check for these two machines or any one of the machine. So for that we have to go into the system manager. System manager. So once you will access system manager, as you can see, you can manage nodes at any scale in any environment. By using this, you can manage not only into cloud, guys, you can manage into on premises also. If your resources are there into on premises, you can also use the same system manager and you will be able to do the inventory. Let's say when we are going to do the inventory, there is options that has been given under the node tools. Now what is the node here? Node means, what is the node here? Node means component. It can be your what do we say, servers, it can be your routers, switches, that we used to call the nodes, right? We'll be talking about this node part later on. So here it is the inventory. If I click on the inventory, so you will be able to get the details of the machines, right? So here right now we are not getting much more details, but if you create the inventory, let's say if you click here to set up inventory, so you can give the inventory association, and after that you are going to select the target. Target is machine. Machine means you can say your virtual machine. So manually you can also select, or you can select the tag here, so that collectively you can select machine, or you can select all manage the instances in the account. So manually I'll select one machine. Let's say I'll select the app server. I want to check what all are the things there into the app server. Now what parameter I want to check? As you can see in 30 minutes, or you can keep here 2 minutes. Within 2 minutes it will collect the data, it will collect the inventory. What it will collect? Can you see the parameter, guys? Can you see the parameter?
Yes, sir.
So first of all, it will collect applications and collect data for installed application. How many application you have installed in the machine? It will speak about that. Collect data for AWS component like Amazon SSM agent. You know, generally what happens, if you need to collect entire information of your virtual machine inside of the virtual machine, then you have to install one Amazon SSM agent. This agent will go into the machine, it will scan everything and it will bring for you, right? That is only the AWS component. Whether SSM agent is there or not, that also you can come to know. Network config, the network configuration related data you can get. Windows update you can get. Instance detail information like your type of instance, CPU model, speed, number of core, in running services under your OS, Windows role, custom inventory, billing info, and you can collect the information about any specific file also. In drive you can select, path you can select, and you can just give the pattern, means type of file, whether that type of file is there or not. And you can even check your collect info about your Windows registry, and then you can set up the inventory. We are doing for one machine. We are doing for one machine. It is telling us it is not authorized. But what will happen? For example, let's say if you set up the inventory, right now it is not permissible, but in future you will do it also. In future you will do it. So what will happen if you will complete the, if you complete the taking the inventory, then after that you will go back into node management, node, or even in the fleet manager itself. These all are the options that has been given to access. So this is our node, right? These all are the two nodes that we do have. If we select the access, this one, app server node, and if I click on node action, so node overview, if I click, so I'll get the entire info of this node. So we were trying to get the details of this machine through the inventory. So here is the option. In the third option, inventory is there. If you click on inventory, you will get the entire details. Means how many applications are running in that machine. You can get not only application. If you click on here, you can get AWS component, file, network, resource group. These many options you can get. Means these all are the value it will give you. So without connecting the machine, you will be able to get a lot of details about the machines, including the application and data which are there in the machine. So what you can do is, you can first of all collect out of so many number of machines you do have. You do not want to protect all the machine, so you will be creating an inventory of those machines which you want to protect. Once you will protect it, then you will try to analyze it where you can find out the weaknesses, and after that you will try to apply the security measures. This is what exactly these documents speak, right? Moving further in the same, the second is to access the access the vulnerability. How will you find out which particular resource are weak? So after the first task you complete, once you set up your inventory, then you will be coming into the asset vulnerability. You will find out the weaknesses. Now how you will be finding out the weaknesses? Basically it does follow a layered model. So you will be checking out the layer one by one layer. This is the first layer, second layer, third layer, fourth layer, fifth layer, sixth layer. Data will be coming here. Now the first one you can call it as a perimeter layer, second one will be your network layer, third one will be your you can say systems layer, fourth one you can keep host layer, and fifth one you can keep as a application layer, sixth one you can keep as a service layer, seventh one you can keep the data which is into rest, and another data which is into motion. So you will start protecting from top to bottom, means from perimeter to center you will try to protect all. So this is what it is telling. If you need to access the asset vulnerability, you need to start from the layered model. And in the layer, generally perimeter will go to the AWS, and network assessment will go to customer. So we are setting up, we are deploying, so our responsibility is to analyze the vulnerability. So now under the network, you will be doing a network assessment, and you will find out which port is open, which ports are open, and which devices are exposed to the public, right? That kind of assessment you will do. And then you will be doing the assessment for host also, like which application are running, which services are running, what all are the security patches which are up to date and which is not, and how to update everything you will be checking under the host. And then you will protect your application assessment, means you will do application assessment. You will check out, does the source code contain security vulnerabilities? Or data assessment, you will check your data is not vulnerable. Like that, means everything will start working from the layered base, right? I'll try to show you that layer also. Maybe they will introduce into this documentation only. So the layer is this one, right? Are you able to see this layer, guys?
Yes, sir.
So this is the layered security model. So for your, if you are assessing the vulnerability or weaknesses, you will follow the same. First you will check perimeter, and then network, and then endpoint, and then you will be having application, and then your data security, and some are valuable assets. So you will be able to protect like this. You will be able to assess the vulnerability like this, right? So there is a CVE we used to call, guys. There is a CVE value, or we used to call CVE detail. So this will tell you the info about the vulnerabilities. Let's say there are some companies who are developing the softwares, applications, and there are so many websites, social media platforms, so many things are there on internet, right? So now everything will be everything is possible to be the vulnerable. Everything can be vulnerable. Weaknesses can come anywhere. So there is a parameter to check whether what is the level of vulnerability it is, whether it does require immediate action, or it is a kind of warning, kind of things we are about to discuss now. So there is CVE example which we used to call CV. So there is some weaknesses came into Apache server. You can check the CVE detail from the website as well, or you can go back to Google. Here you can write CVE detail. So here you will be able to access this website CVE, and this website will give you the CVE details of any kind of threat which came on any kind of product. So if you will search here, let's say related to Facebook, did we got any weaknesses or vulnerability? So you can see how the vulnerabilities and stuffs are coming related to Facebook. See, these all are the weaknesses which has been found under the Facebook, right? And this will show us, CVE platform will show us the record info. It will record the info when it has been published, what is the update, what is the title, description of it, where it has been affected. It has been affected slow, medium or high. It will come under the severity. So basically, CVE website, you can say it is a kind of platform where we can find out the informations related to the vulnerability, related to the weaknesses, right? This is what we will be able to get it from here. After that we will be moving up to implementing the countermeasures. This is the third task that you have to. You will stabilize a security strategy and implement security measure to protect your assets. You will be using a strategy called layered security prevention strategy. And if you will use that strategy, this strategy will get implemented in a same pattern way: network, system, data security, and identity management. There is a word called hardening. Hardening means hardening is the process of making a resource very strong, making your resources very strong in terms of security. You will make it very strong. This hardening says. And the strategy, as you can see, this strategy shows us this model. This is the strategy that we are going to follow if we need to protect our assets under the prevention. And each will be offering a different level of defense for the assets. Level of defense includes these layers. First will come primary perimeter security, network, endpoint, application, and data. And this is what we are going to learn. How to protect perimeter, how to protect network, how to protect end device, application, and data security. How to protect it, we are going to learn the same. So it is a layered defense example of Castle, guys. Let's say if you, this is the castle. Now if you need to place this castle here, if you need to keep this castle here, if you bring, you need to break this line and then mot, these all are mot, and then you have to break outer wall, inner wall, and then you will be reaching. Like the same, these layers are working, nothing big here. In layer defense example under the OSI model. So whenever we are talking about security, so networking is also an important part that we have to see how to protect the networking resources. Either it can be physical layer, data link layer. In each layer, what all are the protection model we do have. Let's say I can give you few examples. First of all, physical layer security, if you need to do, you should not allow anybody's pen drive or data or card reader to the company. That is the first thing. And second layer, in data link layer, you can say you can apply the port security kind of things. You can these kind of things you can implement for the protections, right? Now types of prevention measure, if you see here. So the first one is network hardening. Before the network hardening, there is a perimeter security, guys. Before the network hardening, there is a perimeter security. How we are going to harden the network, and after that the how to harden the perimeter, and after that this network secure, this network system and other stuff will come. The first thing is perimeter. How to protect the perimeter, how to protect the perimeter. So if you see for AWS, the perimeter security, perimeter security in AWS, not this, not this, yeah. Are you able to see my screen, guys?
Yes, sir.
So under the perimeter layer, as you can see the video, means the image which are running behind. So one car is coming, CCTV camera is there, and there is so many pipe and fencing cable. This is fencing cable. uh, these all are the boundary, and everybody has to pass through the gate only, and the gate will be completely scrutinized. So as you can see here, a data center means physical security begins with the perimeter layer. This layer includes a number of security features depending on the location, such as security guards will be there with the gun. Security guards of data center, usually of AWS, sorry, they used to carry gun, guys. If you do have the license of gun, you can also become the security guard in AWS. Licensed gun. They do have fencing cable, they do have security feeds, they do have IDS and other security measures to protect it. How exactly it does work, as you can see, if you are entering into the physical area of it, you need to just enter with the justified business reason, either they will restrict it. Employee and vendors who have a need to be present at data center, first they need to apply with the valid business justification, and then they can request for going to the data center. Your entry is controlled and monitored, means if you will enter, from entry to exit, everything will be monitored. CCTV camera will be there, and workers are also scrutinized, guys. Workers are also scrutinized here. And then your authorized entry, monitor for authorized entry, means if you are authorized, then you will be able to enter. If you are unauthorized, then of course you will not get the entry. So there are security operations center monitor global security, and every data centers has to report to those security agencies, and everything comes under the AWS. In AWS expenses, these all are AWS expenses which I'm talking about to protect this data center. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Clear.
Yes, sir.
So once after protecting the perimeter security responsibility is of AWS, and then other layer. After this perimeter, other layer, let's say network layer. This layer responsibility is of customer. Now the customer will be responsible for the network. Then what customer will do? Customer will implement to stop threats at the network level. Now how customer will harden it? So the customer will block network exploration protocol, means the protocol which will explore about your network, that it should block. You have to close unused ports. You have to maintain an accurate, up to date asset inventory, right? And what you can do is you can use firewall for network protection, IPS, IDS, or you can do the subnetting as well. These all are the measures which you can use to protect. You can use firewall, you can use IPS, intrusion prevention system, or IDS you can use, and then you can segment your network to protect it, right? And next one will be your system hardening. So system hardening is, again, it is the host level security. So you will be protecting the workstation, server, or other devices. You can apply OS patches to protect it. You can remove unused application and services. You can monitor and control the configuration changes also by using the system hardening. And the third one is data security control. Under the data security control, you will implement the control to protect the data. You will encrypt the transit and data which is at the rest. You will be using the digital digital certificate to protect it, and you will be using some tool to identify the integrity, and then you will be using RBAC, that is the role based access control. You will be assigned few role, according to that you will get the access. And then we do have identity management. It will implement control for user authentication and authorization, means user is having permission to access these things or not. For that, we will be creating a what do we say, controls for it, right? So here you can see, use the principle of least privilege. Least privilege means whatever the access you need, you will be getting the same, not more than that. So that is the least privilege. You will be setting some policies, or you can use the principle of AAA, which is authorization, authentication, and accounting. So this is the second document, guys, of security. After that, we will. The next topic which we are going to start is network hardening. My screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir.
So under the prevention, under the prevention, we are following a strategy. We are following a strategy. Under the prevention, we are following a strategy. And the name of strategy is layered layered security strategy. In that strategy, we are going to divide under the layer as per the devices we are keeping, and we have seen the layered top layer, which was the perimeter of data center we have seen. Now we will be moving up to the second layer, which is the network layer. Now how we are going to harden the network means how you will apply the measure, so that how will apply the countermeasures, or you can say directly measure also, to protect your network. So what are the components that we are going to see here under the network hardening? We will first of all identify the network security vulnerabilities, means you need to find out the weaknesses, vulnerabilities, and then you need to discover the protection mechanism, and then we will be having the network architecture hardening practice, right? So we will be doing it one by one. So again, what is the network hardening? Network hardening, basically it is a activity uh, in the layered security prevention strategy that focuses on protecting the network. So by using this strategy, you will protect the network. The goal is to stop the unauthorized access, misuse, modification, or destructions of a computer network. That is the goal. Basically, we need to stop the unauthorized access, misuse, modification, or destructions, right? And network hardening is achieved through the network discovery hardening and network architecture security hardening. By doing these two work, you will achieve network discovery hardening. Means, let's say in your network there are some protocol which are some protocol which are available. You can check by running this protocol. You can check whether your how many network and systems are available, in which port is open. You can check, and after that the anybody can violate the security. And what you will do under the hardening, you will try to close those port and the protocol. You will try to close those port and protocol during the hardening. And the second is network architecture security hardening. You will see your network architecture, how you have designed your network. According to that, you will also develop the security. We will see in the practical, guys. We will see in the practical. Network security vulnerabilities. How we are going to find out the weaknesses. How we are going to find out the weaknesses or vulnerability. So first of all, you need to know, before finding out the weaknesses, you need to know about the security threat that we have discussed already on the first day. So security threat is security, or it can be an event or attempt to expose, alter, disable, gain unauthorized access to an organization's network, and its purpose to steal the data or doing some malicious activity. So network attacks start by discovering information about the network in exploiting a vulnerability in the network. So first of all, the hacker or attacker will do the discovery of the network components, network resources, the systems, client, host, server. They will try to discover through some protocol. By default, by mistake, if you have turned on. Now by mistake, you have enabled a protocol. Let's say any protocol. Let's say you have enabled the protocol called RDP. Let's say even RDP you have enabled. So if anybody will come to know from the outside RDP is enabled, they can even try to break the security, because first of all they will discover what all are the ports open, what all are the protocols are running on the network, and after that they will exploit it. So how basically they used to discover it? So they do three type of scanning. One used to be network mapping, port scanning, and traffic sniffing. Network mapping is all about, we will be seeing it one by one. Network mapping, port scanning, and traffic sniffing. So see, network mapping will expose the topology. It will expose the topology. Topology basically, topology means the let's say how the connections are made. How the connections are made. Let's say this is one PC, this is another PC, this has connected with the switch, and further this switch has connected with the router 1, and this router is connected to router 2, this router is connected to router 3, and there is again one switch, and then here is some computer, again few computers you do have, like the same. Let's say there is one more switch you do have, there is one more computer you do have. So uh, uh, yeah, one more computer you do have, and then one more computer you do have. So somewhat it is this architecture is looking like this H, right? It is looking like H. Somewhat I am making like this and then this. So it is just looking like H architecture, right? H. So they will come to know, what all are the components are there and how this architecture is made, what all are the connections are there by exposing the network topologies. Topologies means diagram of the network, how it has been connected. Further, topologies used to be of two types: physical topology and logical topology. Physical topologies means physical components, how it has been connected, and logical topologies means the IP addresses which you have given, logical topology means logically how the devices are connected, some of IP addresses, some virtual resources. So these topologies can be exposed by doing the network mapping. And attackers can even find out how many number of devices are host present into the network. How many number of host devices are present into the network. Along with that, in the network mapping, let's say ping. This is the example of network mapping commands. So the first one is ping. Ping will determine the IP address of a host. If you need to check any host is reachable or not, generally we are using the ping. Trace route. We used to find out the route from source to the destination. We will be finding out the route, means there will be multiple router, and later on from here we will be reaching to this destination. So we will be able to find out the network path, how the packet traverse, or how the message and packet travels from host to destination. In the nmap, it will show which hosts are there on the network. So these all are the network discovering protocols that can be used to expose the network. So as you can see, you can use ping command. So the IP address of the specified host, if it can be reached. A timeout if the host does not respond within a specific unknown host, if the host does not exist, right? So these info you will be getting once you will use ping. Trace route, you will be getting the route. If it is star star star, it means that those networks are hidden, right? Moving further, another stuff is the hacker and attackers are doing the port scanning also by using the nmap. By using the port scanning, they will send some packets simultaneously, or in sequentially they will send some packets to a port on a host, and they will check whether ports are open or not. An attacker to find out whether which protocol and services implemented on network. In one nmap is the example of it for the port snapping. For port scanning, for the port scanning, and it will help you to find out the which protocols are open and which ports are open and services which are connected to the open port. These entire things can be known by Nmap. In the after Nmap, if you see here, the next one is traffic sniffing. Traffic sniffing means, let's say if A computer is sending something to B computer, and in the form of packet, this packet is traveling. Now this packet is traveling. Sniffing means getting this packet, opening what is there in the packet. Sniffing expose the info, means what is the info, means what is the packet which is traveling through the network. It will just expose the information which is traveling through a network. In sniffing, reads the data in all the packet that passes through a NIC to a device. Means from this device to this device, whatever packet is passing, it will open, read, and then it will go. Attackers basically they are using to read the data. Any unencrypted data, if it is passing through the network, attacker can use. There is one tool that they are using is Wireshark. What it does capture the network traffic data for multiple protocols, and you can use it to interactively browse the data, and it can also save the data. So Wireshark, this will look like this. I'll show you one day, guys, how this work. And then here, how you are going to harden. Now the measure come, how you are going to control on it. That is your strategy, what you are going to apply to control on it. So the goal of network discovery hardening is to keep attacker off from the network. So if you need to do that, then you have to protect your network. You need to protect against network mapping and port scanning. You need to restrict some of the protocols which will the protocol which expose the information, right? So we will be having ICMP, SNMP. So we'll try to restrict them. If you do have traffic sniffing or something like that, so we will be disable promiscuous mode on NIC. See, promiscuous mode I'll show you now here. Promiscuous mode of NIC, network interface card. So see, this promiscuous mode on a network interface card refer to a setting where the NIC capture and read every single network packet in passes. So your promiscuous mode, what it will do, it will just allow the NIC, whatever the network interface card capture the information, it will read the info and it will pass. So if you will enable this, it will be easy to sniff the traffic. Means open the packet and check it what is there in the packet, because even the NIC is doing that. So what we have to do is we have to disable this mode. If you disable this mode, data will be delivered directly to the computer. You can use switches instead of hubs in your network. You can encrypt the sensitive data in the transit so that again you can protect. And in AWS, you can use Amazon Inspector service to discover the vulnerabilities. If you need to find out the weaknesses or vulnerability, guys, vulnerabilities in AWS network, then you will use a service called Amazon Inspector. Now you will be thinking, Amazon Inspector you are using to find out the vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities I am not writing, I am just writing weaknesses. Both are same. Find out the weaknesses in the network in the network. So inspector will find out the weaknesses in the network. That is first thing. And inspector will also find out the weaknesses in the system also. Are you getting my point, guys?
Yes, sir.
So it is not finding out only the weaknesses in the network, it will also find out the weaknesses in the system. It will be having multiple options. Inspector will be having multiple options that I'll show you in the lab. So now the time is to do the lab. So here Amazon inspector is coming. Now we'll do the lab. Okay. And then there will be this architecture hardening that we will do it tomorrow. Okay. So for now, let's start the lab. The same lab, guys, which we have logged in and which we tried to do it. Now we'll try to complete that lab and we'll try to submit. Let me check it whether we can start the lab again. Guys, start the lab 276 now. And once this time, if you complete the lab, you have to submit this lab as well. Okay. Is it fine, guys? Guys,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
shall we see? Now I'm going to show you the inspector part. So what exactly inspector is and what we are going to do. Inside the inspector, let's suppose चाय ला रहे हैं क्या? Thank you. Okay, guys, let's start. So we were talking about the inspector, what it will do. So basically, as per the resource and network, as per resource, what type of resource we do have? Let's say related to the network when I am talking, related to the network in the AWS, what do we have? We do have VPC, which is our virtual private network, or you can say virtual private cloud. VPC is our virtual private cloud. It is a kind of virtual network. And we do have subnet here. We do have subnet here. We do have routing table here. These all are the resources generally we are using. Now we do have virtual machine also. Let's keep virtual machine also. These all are your resources. Now let's suppose inside the VPC, I'll just I forgot one thing to tell you guys. Once we create the VPC, if you remember, three things are getting created. First one is, can anyone give me those name? What is getting created once we are creating the VPC?
Table.
Yes. Anyone?
VPC.
This question is of 500. You will get 500. VPC.
What access options?
No. If we create a new VPC, what all are the other
We
things
will
will
create.
get?
We will create first add a IP, sir. We'll first add CIDR blocks.
Yeah, that we will be giving while creating the VPC, a CIDR range we will be giving up IP to
Yes,
create
sir.
the VPC. Now, what will be the three resources which will be created automatically once you will
NAT
create the
gateway
VPC?
and
Sir, the root table, DHCP, and
table
NACL,
NAT
sir.
gateway, internet gateway, sir.
So, the first
Endpoint.
one is your DHCP option set.
Okay, yes, in DHCP. Yeah.
And second one is
Table.
Route table.
Table.
Route table. Third one is
Gateway.
anyone? Third one, guys?
Route table. NAT gateway, sir.
No.
ACL.
Security group.
Security group. Yes, security also.
Security group.
NACL, sir, network access control list.
Network access control list. Very good. So the next one is someone has given the correct answer.
Subnet, sir.
No. Someone has given all the three correct answer. I am finding him, but just for giving this 500.
Internet gateway.
No. Here the answer is your answer is ACL only. That we used to
ACL.
call network ACL only. So these all are the things will get created automatically. And Tarun has given the answer, but 2 was only correct. So no one is
Sir, I
getting
have given
500
three
now.
correct answers, sir.
You have given 3 correct answer.
Yes, sir.
So this 500 is cancelled, you know. You did not give me that chicken that day. So it is cancelled now. For you
I
it
know
is
about route
cancelled.
table, sir. Yes, route table and NAT gateway also will be created, no, sir? Automatically.
NAT will not create automatically.
So, just I have created, sir. That's why I'm telling that.
See, if it is a VPC, it won't create. If it you will create VPC and more,
Yes, VPC and more. That's
here
what
it
I'm
will
saying.
get created.
Yes.
So this is like your purpose wise. If you do have some specific purpose, then you are creating, and that is not automatically created. Automatically these all are creating. That will be customs because you are creating VPCs and more. It will be custom. So
Yes.
once we are creating VPC, DHCP route table is getting created, we are not using this into security. We are using network ACL. Network ACL basically, you know what exactly it is. ACL, network ACL is also type of a firewall, you can say. It is a kind of firewall. Let's say this is your network. This is your network. And here I am keeping, this is your VPC, let's say, network VPC. Here I am keeping the network ACL. This is my network ACL. Now, this is a firewall. This is a firewall. And this firewall, ACL, this firewall will filter the incoming traffic and outgoing traffic to this network. So here we'll be having, you know, inbound traffic and outbound traffic. Let's say I'm making both as a inbound this side only, and outbound I'll make it this side, right? This is outbound. So your inspector will check whether any traffic or anyone can reach to your VPC from the internet. From the internet, anyone can reach to this VPC, it will check. If anyone can reach from the internet, then it is vulnerable, it is weak. And this inspector will say which particular which particular rule or protocol is allowing the traffic to enter into the VPC. That also will give you by the inspector. So inspector basically identify the network ACL and security group also. Let's say at the place of this VPC, if you do have a virtual machine here, VM, and VM is having one security group here. Security group is also having inbound traffic and outbound traffic. So this inspector will check whether what all are the traffic is allowed, what all are the traffic is not allowed as per the security concern, what is extra that has been allowed here. Are you getting my point, guys?
Yes, sir.
So who will inspect? Who will check it? Inspector will inspect. Okay, let's suppose whenever we are using the let's say we have created one virtual machine. If you can remember, this is virtual machine you have created, and while creating the network security group, we are using a RDP protocol. In the RDP protocol, we are allowing the port number 3389 from any source. Mostly we used to allow 0.0.0/0. It means that anyone from the internet can go to this network, can go to this RDP, means can do the RDP to access this machine, because we are allowing here in the inbound. We are doing this. Now if inspector will come, inspector will first inspect entire the network reachability part, where the network is reachable. It will check and it will tell you this source is any. It means that anybody can come and exploit this, so we should block this. We should not use this. Rather than using a complete this address, we can use one only, our computer only, right? So these thing it will filter and it will give you, right? For example, let's say in network ACL, and in both case guys, let's say this is AWS. Are you able to see my screen, lab screen now?
Yes, sir.
So this is the lab which we will perform, and after that we'll end for today. So this particular service, network inspector service, we can go by clicking here services, and we can go into the security, identity and compliance, and here in the list you can find out what do we say, inspector, right? Or you can just write inspector on the top, it will come inspector. So what exactly this inspector is doing, you can see from here also. Amazon inspector, automated and continual vulnerability management at any scale. At any scale you will be able to find out the vulnerabilities, right? So here if you see, now we want to check the vulnerability in the network only. So what we can do is we can click on this three bar in the left menu, and we can switch to inspector classic. Just because of the permission, there are two part under the inspector. uh, uh, for new inspector service came, activate inspector, it is coming, and then switch to inspector classic. Classic is something we can say it is the older one. Classic is older one. So what we can do here, as you can see on the screen, if this is talking about the second thing guys, it is not talking about the first thing. Now I have told you one thing, inspector can identify inspector can identify the vulnerabilities in the network and system both. It can identify weaknesses or vulnerability in network in your system both. So these options which you are able to see right now, it is for system. Why? Because it is telling installing one AWS agent on EC2 instance and run the assessment test on that target, and then you can review. So this is for that purpose it is doing, right? We can click here to get started. Now the same guide, same. Are you able to see my screen? In
Yes, sir.
your
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
assessment setup, if you see in your assessment setup, we are able to get two part: network assessment, host assessment. In the host assessment, you can have the system you can have the system scanning you can do. In the host, you can do the system in scanning, where you can find out the vulnerability in the system by using host assessment. And in the network assessment, you can find out the vulnerabilities in the network by doing the network assessment here. Are you getting my point, guys?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So what we are going to do now, network or host?
Network. Network, sir.
Network.
Network.
So once we will do the network, we'll just uncheck the host assessment. And you can see for the network assessment, inspector agent is not required. But for host assessment, that agent is required, because that agent needs to go into the machine and scan everything and deliver it to you through the inventory. So here we are using the network assessment, right? Now we will be going to the advanced setup under the same. And let's assume you are going to, what is your assessment target? We have given a name. By default the name came, so we can use the same name, and we are going to include all the EC2 instance here. We are going to do the scanning of network here, scanning of the network which are associated with the EC2, right? And we are not going to install the EC2 inspector agent here. We'll just keep for all instances, and we'll go to the next. Now it is having a template, guys. Template means the package, the rule. Basically it will try to match, and after that it will give you. So we are not going to check the CVE exposure now, the weaknesses in the, the web portal are in data. We are not going to check the operating system right now. We are not going to check the best practice. We will be checking the network reachability, means our network, as per our network reachability, whether the network is vulnerable or not. So we will be keeping a single package called network reliability 1.1, and remaining 3 will remove. Clear, guys? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So duration has been given here. So the default duration is 1 hour, but you can modify. So we can just keep the minimum one 15 minutes, and we can just scan it now. We are not scheduling. We will be scanning it now. Done. Now we can run this assessment. We'll click on next, and we can review, and we can create. Right? So once you will run the assessment, you can see here only you will be getting your assessment. So you can refresh it here. This will give us one assessment which we are running today. And the name of assessment, we can see here template name, and how much findings it is giving, how much weaknesses it is giving us. 0, right? Why? Because it is collecting the data. Once it will collect the data, entire data, and after that it will give you the findings. Once it will complete, once the assessment will get complete, you will be getting few findings, right? Let's refresh. Wow, analysis has been completed. Can you see this? The analysis has been completed. And how many findings we got, guys? 3.
3, sir.
3 findings. Now we'll check it. We can click on these 3, and we can just see this. These 3. One is high, one is medium, one is informal. So which one is high? as you can see, it is telling us this is the ARN rule number target name, and this is telling us on this instance means machine, TCP port 23 is open, which is associated with the telnet and reachable from the internet. It means that anybody can come from the internet and they can compromise your machine. So you can install them as an inspector to get somewhat more info about it. But again, it is telling, it is giving you the recommendation also. You can edit the security group to remove this internet on the port number 23. So this is one findings we are getting. The medium finding is a port number 22. It is again open to the internet. In informational based, we are getting port 22 and 23. This is giving us under the informational. So this is one analysis we have done, guys, right? For example, when it is saying sorry, when it is saying port number 23 is open for the internet, so what we can do, we can go back to that machine. So we can see our instances are running here. Now what we can do is we can check the app store and the security group of it. So in the security group, as you can see here, this is the Bastion, this is app server. It is giving this machine, right? So we can check there in the inspector what exactly the machine is. And here you can see this port number 23 is open to the internet. Correct, guys? Are you able to see? So this is what the inspector is telling. It is open towards the internet. So what you have to do is, any traffic will come from internet to this machine. So what you can do is you can disable. You can disable or you can remove this rule. So what will I do is I'll edit this rule, and let's say I'm removing this 23. And here I'll keep, let's say, my IP. So this I'll save the security group. I have saved it. Now I have removed 123 port and 22 I have added mine one. So what it will give next? So we'll go again into the inspector. And we'll do again the analysis. So here we will click again here. We'll go to the inspector classic. And here we can see our findings, and this is the page dashboard of inspector, where you can see the important finding, 3 recent finding, 1 assessment run has been completed on this time. This is giving us. Now this was the assessment test, right, which we have done. Now you can do it again. You can select it and you can run it again now. So if we are running it again, now you can see the time 4:36 we are running again. So it is collecting the data, and see how much findings it is giving. And these finding output you can also download. You can share with your other team members or in your company. If in the security department, you can send this, right? So let's refresh it once again. Analyzing, it is analyzing now. Are you able to understand, guys? Guys,
Yes, sir.
समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
फिर ठीक है. If is there any problem, immediately you can ask me. All right, so we will refresh again to check it out. Now it might has been completed. So it has been completed. Now if I click on findings, there is no high findings, right? It is a medium and informal. Means one is informational, it means that you can leave it, and the medium one is telling the same port number 22 is open from a specific IP address, right? Port number 22 has been open from a specific IP address, right? This is the detail that we are able to get here, right? This is the finding output. Further it has been converted into, you know, display form as we are seeing here. Generally it comes into the JSON format. So this is the findings that we are getting. And if you go to the assessment target here, we have created the assessment target as a all instance. If we edit here the assessment target, so here you can add the tag, right? Let's say what exactly you want to scan. VPC. What is the name of VPC? These all are AWS ID and value. Value is not coming. Cloud Lab name, Cloud Lab value, this, what exactly it is. Let's save it, and
The name we can select that instance value.
yeah, just let me check it once. Let's, if we run, we can come to know. The inspector is giving the info about security group. I'm trying to get for VPC now. So it's collecting the data only. Even though your network ACL is stateless, so you can modify incoming, outgoing, both traffic can be modified also there. Again, it is collecting the data only. Here we can get all the findings. This is all the findings, guys, which we have received, and from here you can download also. You can filter with the severity level, which is high, which is medium, which is low, and assessment run. Let's refresh and check it out. It is still collecting the data. This is taking much more time. Findings 0, collecting data. All right. If I create a new assessment target, here it is taking key and value only. So if we go back and if we check our network VPC, first of all, we need to check whether our machine is into which VPC. So let's say this is the machine and it is into 30, where it went, 10 VPC. Some VPC is there by the 10. So VPC, we'll go to the VPC now. Yeah, we'll see it here. So the lab VPC, the VPC name is lab VPC. And do we have any tag here? Yeah, I have selected the VPC only, correct VPC this time. Are you getting, guys? Are you getting this? I have
Yes, sir.
selected
Yes,
Cloud
sir. Yes,
Lab
sir.
and the value is this one. Either or we could do this, or you can select name lab VPC. So we can also change directly from here. We can add here name, and here we can add the, in the name only machines are coming. If we can give the name of VPC lab VPC lab VPC kind of it, we can add VPC. This is what it is. Yeah, lab VPC. We could do like this, or we can just you know array. We have added this cloud lab and then the value of cloud lab here. Either we can do like this, or you can just keep here lab VPC, right? So the same tag we can use here into the assessment. Let's go and check the findings now. Basically, the full network, guys, again, it will take time. As you can see, it is taking time. It is collecting the data only. That's why in this lab, it was not showing about the network. It was showing about only the machines, right? So if you, of course, if you'll be collecting the data of a network, it will take time, right? And once it will complete, then you will be able to get the findings here of the network. Rather than getting up the machines, you can get the network's findings also here. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
So you can run the assessment test to find out the vulnerabilities in your network by using the inspector. And by using the inspector also you can find out. And once you find out the vulnerability, that in the vulnerability itself, it is giving us the recommendation. Like you can go back and you can just change this. See the recommendation, go to this, remove this port from internet. This is the recommendation that we are getting. So we will follow that recommendation, and this is only your, if you are following this statement, it means that you are doing the, you are removing your vulnerabilities now. Okay, is it clear, guys, to everybody? Shall we submit this lab? In this lab you do have the same only, nothing else.
Yes, sir.
So you can submit this lab now. Findings means output. Assessment run means what all are the assessment we are running. Assessment template means on which basis we are running. Assessment template means, let's say you are running for network, or you are running for system host, or you are just checking out the vulnerabilities. So that is a kind of template which will try to match, right? And then we do have assessment target. This target is all about whether you are going to scan your machine, or you are going to scan your VPC subnet and all. And this is the dashboard where we can see the output, right? So total finding 5 we do have. Assessment running 1, assessment run has been completed. So this is what it is happening. All right, guys, it's done for everybody. Have you submitted the lab?
Yes, sir.
So now after submitting the lab, you do have one KC that you have to do, but before the KC, I'll complete this network hardening part, guys, right? So after completing the lab, as you can see, if you need to protect your network, you can also use network firewall, or you can use IPS. IPS stand for Intrusion Prevention System. Intrusion Prevention System. So without permission, if anybody will enter into your network, so this prevention means intrusion prevention will prevent from entering into the network, right? There are something called suricata somewhat more are there. You will be coming to know in the next few chapters. You will be learning about this also. Then we do have other solutions that has been given. If you need to protect your network, you can mostly you should create the private subnet, and you need to use the network ACL. You need to use the network ACL. In the network ACL, you can filter, you can means you can create your own rule, which traffic should be allow, which traffic should be deny. This you can set up into inbound, outbound both. So this is how you will be able to protect. Next, we do have network firewall. Again, it is a protection mechanism to filter incoming, outgoing traffic in a network. And whatever the packet is passing, that you can block by using their source address, by using their destination address, by using their source and destination port number, whatever the protocol they are using. So you will be having a lot of way to block, right? Either their source address, source IP address, or destination IP address you can use, or port number you can use to block, or you can use protocol type to block under the network firewall. Only authorized access inside the network, means only authorized people will be able to access inside the network. And a firewall can be a hardware device or software both. And if you are purchasing a hardware, means if you are purchasing a firewall as a hardware, we used to call firewall compliance, right? If you are purchasing a hardware firewall, so most of the hardware firewall comes with the IPS also, IPS and IDS also. These features used to be there in the next generation firewalls. And the number and placements of the firewall in your network depends on network topology and security requirement. Means where you are going to place your firewall. Let's say in company generally we let's say this is the inside network, so it is inside. And in the inside, let's say this is another zone, you have divided other zone here, right? So let's say here you are using a router to communicate from inside to a zone which you have created, a zone you have created, that zone. So what will happen? Traffic will come from outside, from internet. This traffic will reach to the firewall. Now this firewall will filter and send the traffic towards the inside, or this particular zone. Filter and then it will send. Now what it will do, let's say this firewall will filter and send the traffic inside this zone or this zone. If you are sending the traffic from here, see, from outside, if the people will able to see only this zone, they cannot see this zone. It means that this is dematerialized zone. That is the security term, dematerialized zone. That I'll be discussing in future again, because it will be much more lengthy if we'll be going in much more deeper. So this firewall will filter the traffic here. If some traffic is allowed, it will go inside. If it is not allowed, it will get dropped here itself. So whether you want to keep this firewall here, or you can keep the firewall with respect to this particular zone. Means multiple firewall you can use, but your firewall where to place, that is your call. Basically, if it is one network, this is another network. If you need to protect this network, then you can use firewall here. If you need to protect both networks, so what you will do, if you need to protect both network, you can connect this with the router. Later on, apart from the router, here you can use the firewall like this. So traffic will come to this firewall, from it will get filtered, and after that it will go to router, and after that it will enter, right? If you need to do the lab, I'll show you a lab tomorrow also. Okay, is it clear, guys? So
Yes, sir.
from here we will continue tomorrow. Network firewall will continue tomorrow. Somewhat more things we will be able to see into the same. And